We're going to jump right in with our first speaker, who is actually our keynote for today, Clifford Starks. Clifford is a former professional athlete who fought inside the UFC cage, and he helps entrepreneurs to level up their business as well as all aspects of their lives. Welcome to the stage, Clifford.
Hey, I am so grateful to have you on this mental health journey. And I appreciate Jason for bringing this together so that we can bring mental awareness to the forefront and support as many people as we can on the journey. And one of the most interesting things that I've learned, and I'm sure many of you have learned, is we really, really appreciate something once it's taken from us. I often say a person doesn't really appreciate oxygen until they need the oxygen. And that's what I think about when I think of an asthmatic, an individual who is gasping for air because they can't breathe. And the harder they try, the harder it is. But with the right vehicle, the right inhaler, the right things in process, the right environment, the right pieces in place, all of a sudden they get their air back, they get their oxygen back, and they're able to adjust to a new reality, knowing that they're so grateful to have that air to breathe. And the same thing is true with mental health. You don't really know how much you appreciate it until it's not there, until it's lost. And what I want to share with everybody on the journey is what I've done to cope in my life and what has served not only myself but many others along the journey. And one of those things, I come from a background, I had two very interesting decisions at a very, very young age. My biological dad drove out of my life at the age of 4, and my mom remarried a man at the age of 6. It was a very confusing and conflicting to have those two incidences so closely together, knowing that one man who I thought was supposed to be there for me and support me, I was no longer there, and another man to take his place. And honestly, I call this man dad to this day. He's been by my side since from 6 years old to now I'm 42. And I really, really appreciate having him on the journey, having his support. And what I've learned as I've gone through the journey is one, when things are taken from us, we can appreciate that we still get the opportunity to see it how we want to see it. I remember when my dad left, I thought to myself, I have to be strong for myself and for everybody that I come in contact with. Those were the first things that I thought. And so I focused on getting as strong as I could on the journey. It actually it led me into a journey of personal development at a very young age. And some people didn't go on that exact path, but when our paths crossed and I could support people and share with them what I've learned and what I've grown from and what I've done, um, it helped them. And strangely enough, it helped me too. Everybody that I serve, not only am I serving them, but I'm serving myself. And as I went through my journey and going really, really deep into it, I understood the power of supporting other people. And that's what I focused on doing, was being a support system for other people on the journey. And part of that was because I knew what it felt like not to have support. And so just like that asthmatic was trying to grab for breath, trying to get their air back, sometimes a person doesn't understand because they've never felt that. They've never felt having to get their air back. But if an asthmatic who has gotten their air back sees another asthmatic, they understand it. They get it. And that's how I see mental health in a lot of ways. Very interesting. The most important things are not necessarily the things that we can see, but it's the things that we can't. It's those things that are in between the ears that talk to us on a regular basis. those things that either empower us or disempower us, those things that allow us to thrive or just allow us to survive. And as I've gone through my journey, there's one thing that I've noticed that has been really, really consistent overall. We don't choose where we're at on our journey, but we can choose what we'll do with it. And so there's three things that have really supported me, and I really hope they support you along the way. One is having the right vehicle. What vehicles in your life can support you? Just as an asthmatic, they use an inhaler. Someone who has diabetes uses insulin and glucose. And with mental health, what vehicle do you use to support you on your journey? It can be a, a plethora of vehicles. That's the beauty of it, is using the vehicles that serve you best and going around those who understand, hey, I get you. I've been there. And this might help you. Or try this. Or this served me. The vehicles that serve me most have been music. Love listening to music. Whenever I'm feeling overly stressed, overly tense, overly like life, just too many pressures, I usually turn on some music. I have a background fighting in the UFC, a lot of pressure when it comes to doing something like that. And whenever I was dealing with the pressure, I would either shake my body out, move it, listen to some music, listen to something that gave me the rhythm, that helped me feel at ease and comfortable again. And the next is having the right knowledge. Because you can have the vehicle, but if you don't have the knowledge or about applying that vehicle, it doesn't really serve. Even something as simple as an inhaler, I don't know how to use an inhaler because I don't have asthma. But I'm sure if I were to speak to someone who did, they'd be able to tell me, hey, you pump twice, and then you breathe in. Something as simple as that. The knowledge is oftentimes a very, very simple thing, tiny thing, but if you don't know what to do, you don't know what to do. So go find that knowledge and apply it in your life and in your journey. What knowledge is going to support you with the vehicles that you use in your life? And then the third, the right you. And what I've learned as I've gone through my journey, the right you, it's actually a very, very simple thing. Know what you want in your life and go around those who have gotten it. I know Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. And if you want to find success, define success for you and then go find people who have gotten that. It was really interesting. They often talk about how if a child were to fall over their first time and just give up like adults, they'd never learn to walk. I actually think adults and children are much the same. I just think the reason the child continues to attempt to walk is because everyone's walking around them. And so ask yourself, what environment do I have to surround myself in to start learning the lessons, start applying the process? I call it putting in the reps because I come from a athletic background and a trainer's background. And now I coach entrepreneurs on their journey, but it's still the same thing. The same principle applies. Put in the reps. And when you put in the reps, you'll shock yourself and you'll shock others along the way. As we go on this mental health journey together, I often like to say, I am you and you are me. I might not know what it feels like to have asthma, but I know what it feels like to be in pain. And I also know what it feels like to be out of pain. When my dad left, it hurt, but I used that as strength. It was interesting later on in my journey, I didn't even realize I was using trauma to be strong. And then I learned My lesson was I don't have to be in unnecessary trauma. I can let it go. I can peel it away. And I can still be strong. I can peel what hasn't served me and put on what does serve me. And so what I would say to you, focus strong on your journey. Remember who you are and surround yourself with those who empower you and lift you up. Lifting you up does sometimes mean those people are going to challenge you. That's the beauty of the game. Just make sure they're challenging you for your best interests so that you can show up in the best way possible. So back to those three is right vehicle. Know the vehicles you're getting in on your journey. Right knowledge, know how to use those vehicles, know how to apply those vehicles, know how to put the knowledge into those vehicles. The right you. Go in those environments that are going to serve you and support you. And look, I've gotten all three wrong before, and I'm sure I'll get all three wrong again. But I've also gotten all three right, and I know I'll get all three right again. Life's a journey and a process. Always believe in yourself, and if you're not believing in yourself, I'll be here to believe in you. If I stop believing in myself, I hope you're here to believe in me, because we're all in this journey together, supporting one another through the good times and the bad. So Jason, again, thank you for bringing mental awareness to the forefront so that we can all shine bright together. You all have a great day, and I appreciate you so much. And always remember, there's greatness in you.